dogs out. Let the dogs out.
Hello and welcome to the Comedy Dogs with John Peters and Ed the Med. I'm John Peters and here's my co-host, Ed the Med. Hi Ed, how are you?
I'm fine, John. How are you?
Are you ready for a rousing night of hilarity and comedy?
Oh yeah, so night to howl.
As a comedy dog, that's our first dog joke of the evening. There's probably going to be a lot more. This is being broadcast live stream on Facebook, so hopefully our friends will watch it live on Facebook, and when it's done, they will not have unfriended us. Hopefully.
Hopefully not.
We're here to make you laugh and annoy you. So either way, it's a win-lose situation.
Oh no! For me, I tell people it's win-win. My disclaimer is everybody feels comedy then after my show because they're laughing and howling, or glad it's over.
There you go. There you go. Well, just for our listeners and viewers, Ed and I, years ago, I don't know how many years we started it. I think it was for about 3 years. We did a weekly show it was on Blog Talk Radio called The Funny Side of the Street. You remember that, Ed?
Oh, yeah, I remember.
It was fun. We had a lot of guests.
Oh, yeah. I started as just a call-in.
Right. Ed started, he'd call in every show, and then he was so funny, I thought, I'm dying here alone. I need help. And we brought Ed on to repair and save the show. So we did that for 3 years, and then we also did for a short time the Three Comedians. Yeah. Of course, you and I and our friend Cha, who hopefully will view this on Facebook Live.
Oh, she'll be back.
She'll be back. That's right.
She'll be back.
The Terminator. Yes. The Chaminator. Yeah. She'll be back. I hope you hear this, Cha. So,
yeah, just when you thought it was safe to do comedy.
Right. So you and I have been doing comedy very similar time. I'm thinking I'm either on my 12th, 13th, or 14th year. I have to figure it out.
2013 is when we first hooked up.
When was it?
It's been about 12 years ago, 2013.
12 years ago.
Yeah.
So we have been faithful. I kind of laid it down a little bit for a year or so for personal reasons, but now it's time to take up the comedy again and make the world a better place to live in, right?
Absolutely.
You know, we're both Christians, and when Jesus was born, the gospel was joy to the world. The Lord has come. So we're here to bring joy. Joy is in Jesus. So we hope you, if you're watching this, that you know Jesus as your Lord and Savior. If you don't, open up your Bible, the Gospel of John. This is John 3:16. For God so loved the world. Check out that verse and receive Jesus as Lord and Savior. So that's our first evangelistic message. Speaking of evangelistic messages, I remember some years ago I went to the Clean Comedy Challenge. And that was with a friend, Leslie Norris Townsend. You can look it up on Facebook. And they had it held at a casino. I think it was in Anderson, Indiana. And it was really surreal, Ed. I'm standing on a stage in a casino. Now, I'm an ordained minister. I don't go to casinos, right? I don't drink and I don't gamble. But I'm standing on a stage in a casino. Behind me was a big window with the pony races behind me. In front of me, there were rows and levels of chairs and tables with people drinking alcohol, gambling, carousing around. And I'm on the stage and I'm thinking, God, I hope I don't get struck by lightning. But, I felt the Lord put me there kind of as an outreach. And So not having really good comedy sense, I just riffed it. And I said, standing here kind of reminds me of being in a church. Here's the stage. That's where the preacher stands. And they had a little railing. And I said, this is like the altar. You can come down and confess your sins and get saved. And we'll sing Just As I Am until you get. So this is what I'm saying at a casino.
Wow.
At a comedy show. And, I'm thinking, this is not a real smart thing. What happens if the bouncers, I don't know, or maybe the mafia, I don't know who runs the thing, but, they might take me out in the parking lot. I mean, these are some of the wild thoughts that went through my mind. It was a weird experience.
Whew. That's one I've never had.
But comedy has taken us some weird places. Do you remember the Coconuts Comedy Club, Ed?
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah. That's a bar, and is it St. Petersburg?
Yeah.
Yeah. And both you and I performed there, and it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. We all learned a lot. So that was a good challenge. It's good to challenge yourself.
Oh, definitely.
But I don't know about you, but I'm getting old, Ed.
Well,
Okay.
realistically, I have to, it is what it is. I mean, I try to, on the one hand, I'm trying to redefine senior citizenship, which,
Okay.
but with a note of realism too. I'm not 20 years old anymore. So,
Right.
and I'm going to try to be. I don't want to
Well,
those days.
I know it's a reality. I mean, the other day I was sitting on my couch and I was thinking, oh man, I have a birthday in 5 months, and I'm 69 now, and I'm going to turn 70. That's real, Ed.
I'm not that far behind you, John. I'm
Okay.
60.
Well, the big 7-0 that's real. You're old. There's 69 is kind of iffish, but when you hit 70, it's like they put a stamp on your Social Security. This guy's officially old. So I was thinking about that, and I was scrolling through Facebook, and I came across a clip from The Sound of Music, and it was the clip, Ed, that was I am 16 going on 17. You remember that song?
You are 16 going on 17.
That's it. That's
I
the
am
one.
17 going on 18.
Yes. And I thought of that, and then a song came to my mind. This actually just dumped in my head. And so I wrote a song, and I'll just read it to you because my singing is so horrible. I wrote, you are 69 going on 70. Geritol you need to drink. Better take care, beware, and be watchful. Don't drop your teeth in the sink.
Oh,
You are 69 going on 70. Morticians all in line.
this is nice.
You look so bad, and now you're so sad. They'll show you your casket design. This is the song that came to my head.
Beyond prepared are you to face the world of old. You
That's beautiful.
need someone younger and wiser. Yeah, instead of older and wiser, to be a reverse. You need someone
Younger and
wiser, helping you what?
and I'll take care of you.
You hope. Actually, I'm getting popular. I mean, I'm getting all kinds of offers from cremation places.
Okay.
I mean, I get more than once. I've gotten one for a cremation seminar at Applebee's, and I'm thinking, what? Do I really want to eat lunch and listen to it?
Oh my gosh. A creation seminar at Applebee's restaurant.
Cremation, you better be serving steak and lobster if you think you're going to go to that. It's just
My gosh. That's
well,
hard.
then I get another call from a solicitor at dinner time. I said, this is a really pleasant thought for me to eat dinner on tonight. I'll try to sell me. Let me put it to you really straight. I really don't care what you do with my ashes when I'm gone.
Right.
Why am I going to spend money on an elaborate casket? Just give me a ceramic urn or something. I don't really care. So,
Right. Yeah, well, that's true. Well, my question is, at Applebee's, I hope they didn't burn your steak.
Oh,
That would have been really bad. You're slicing off a piece of burned,
In
burned
fact,
black burned steak, and
in
then
fact,
talking about cremation.
I want to be eulogized now so that I could hear about what a wonderful guy I was.
There you go.
He brightened everybody's day. He was always smiling. He did anything for anyone. No, I won't.
In other words, they lie. You want them to lie it. No.
Oh, I mean, everybody, that's what I mean. Well, I don't mean to be morbid, but many years ago, I'm sorry it happened. You know, it was at a college. I don't even know who it was. Well, he had a car accident and died. We're going to miss a smiling face on the campus. And even then, I'm thinking, no, I'm not. I don't know who you're talking about. I'm sorry it happened, but no, I'm not going to miss a smiling face.
Right, right.
Really, the first time that I started thinking this way, I'm serious. I was 12 years old. I'm thinking, why is everybody walking water after they're gone? He was a good man. How about honest eulogies? What about you take certain biblical characters like Jezebel? How would she have been eulogized? And by the way, you know what happened to her? The dogs came and licked her blood.
Oh. Watch out for them dogs, man.
That begs the question: who let those dogs out?
All right, we gotta do the intro again. Here we go.
Let the dogs out. Let the dogs out.
All right, that's just for you, Ed.
It is. It's my annoying or funny or both. That's my signature karaoke.
Right. Right. We just want to affect you. You know, I'm a middle child. Notice me. Love me or hate me, but notice me.
Like I told you that one of my recent comedy, in my last comedy show, I did a whole section called "Caught in the Middle."
Okay.
It started. But I told him I just had a midlife crisis. I had many. The first one was when I was born.
Okay.
You call that or Graham, but they always called me by my middle name.
Oh, right. Okay.
What a pain in the butt that is to explain. How you doing, Carl? How you doing, Carl? So we're going to be the first name. Use my middle name, and that's when it started. From birth on, I've just been the middle man.
That's not good. Can you imagine if John the Baptist's father called him by his middle name? He'd just call him you're the. Go do your chores. I'm sorry, that's a really bad joke. I have to cue up drum rolls and horns or something for jokes like that.
Oh, the late Robin Williams, speaking of, having feeling I get to measure up something. Oh, it would have been so nice to have Jesus and an elder brother that don't you make book on it. Now, I don't remember what Robin Williams said verbatim, something like, well, no, because he would have, why can't you do your chores like Jesus? Why can't you get straight A's like Jesus does?
Yeah.
Make your bedtime like Jesus. On the way you treat Jesus, you think he was God.
I think who else does a bit? Michael Jr. does a bit about that too, I think. If you've ever heard it, it's excellent.
I do have a hard time hearing, okay, Jesus, time for bed.
Right.
I don't. Now, we know, I'm pretty sure, but now by the time he was 12 years old, he knew he was God in the flesh because he referred to God as his father. It's only he could do that. Because
right. In Luke, I think that is.
We weren't quite in the new covenant yet. Now, that's so. Didn't you know I had to be about my father's business? Well, obviously, they didn't know. I think it was Mary had a panic attack. I lost God. Child protective is going to think I'm a negligent mom. Oh, no. What am I going to do? Now, one thing I say, now, if you're 12 years old, I don't recommend you pull that. But it goes to show that Jesus was at times a sanctified prankster. That was one of them. Obviously, they didn't know he was about his father's business.
Right. He was focused.
But don't you say that. Yeah, I'll show you the father's business. Wait till I get you home.
That's good. Well, I mean, what was I doing at 12 compared to what Jesus was doing at 12?
No, we don't want to go there.
I don't even know. I don't even know. It's so long ago because I'm old.
Yeah.
I don't remember 12, man.
That was my second crisis. At 12 years old, I had to pay adult fare at the movies. Said, why? Am I taking
okay.
Why? That never did to the state does not make sense. Why do you make a 12-year-old pay adult fare? I did not get a cost of living increase in my allowance.
Okay.
And and then it was that age, well, I started junior high at 12, which they call middle school, which I think is more appropriate because it's that transitional stage where they tell you to grow up and don't let you.
Mm-hmm.
It's that metamorphosis. You're stuck between two, It's that, the phrase that I'm sure you heard, act your age. I never understood what that meant. Act your age.
Why not?
I know. Act your age. How's a 12-year-old supposed to act? Nobody ever told me.
Well, the way a 12-year-old boy acts is very rude. They like rude noises. They love to cuss when nobody's watching.
Yeah.
What else they do?
I know. I was 12 once, a long time ago.
Yeah. But now we're old, Ed. But I was thinking, it's okay being old. There's certain benefits to being almost 70, right?
Yeah.
For instance, I am financially stable.
Yeah.
That's right. I'm always consistently broke.
Oh, yeah.
It's stable.
Speaking of adding to this card in the middle, I am in every sense of the word a middle class. I mean, my security income is about average. Even the average, my income from all sources is about average. So, and which is why I don't understand that. Even I'm a middle class citizen. I paid into my Social Security for years, and now I have to pay taxes on part of it. Don't get me started. I know this isn't supposed to be a political show, but it is comically annoying.
Okay.
It's like I'm taxed twice now. Come on.
Okay, yeah. All right, take a breath. Okay. God's good despite April 15th being tax day, right?
I mean, it's
life is good. Life is good.
It is, but it's just one of those things, though.
Yeah. Well, I think another thing that at our age, we've gotten older and wiser. I think I have.
Yeah.
For instance, I now know bigger vocabulary words. I've learned new words like polyethylene glycol and Metamucil.
Oh.
They're important words for old people. Geritol, Metamucil, that kind of thing. We need to know these things. And also, when I was like a teen, I knew girls like Susan, Sally, Cheryl, right?
Yeah.
Now that I'm 70, the women I know are named Ethel, Ruth, and Philomena. It's a different place that I'm at, Also, my daily standards have changed, right? When I was young and I had a good, I got a lot done that day. I felt good. It was a good day. These days, if I get a 2-hour nap and a decent bowel movement, it's a fantastic day. Come on. Things change when you're old.
That's one thing that's changed since my early childhood, which I used to think, I used to dislike naps. Now they're rewards.
Right. Amen.
And that's one big change. It's, good.
I believe in naps. They're biblical. Jesus took naps.
Well,
right?
Even a lot of, even King David, a lot of biblical characters that took naps. Well,
yeah, sure.
He was an afternoon napper.
Yeah. I enjoy naps.
Well,
I'm a professional napper. As a matter of fact, I'm taking one now. I'm talking, but I'm sleeping at the same. No, I can doze off anywhere.
Well, according to modern research, if you can do a power nap, it's a good thing.
I believe that. Yes.
I can sometimes. Yeah. I talked to one supply officer, Nate. I said sometimes at lunchtime I just nod off for a few minutes because I want to not myself. I shut the door sometimes after lunch and nod off for about 5 minutes.
Absolutely. I fall asleep a lot in church at my own sermons.
That was a good one. That's what you call set up punch.
I'm so boring. Sometimes I fall asleep on my own sermons.
And remember that the one fundamental is set up, and if you're good, you can get several punches on one setup.
Right. Tagline.
And of course, what's funny, you know they're going to pull the rug out from you, but you just don't go in.
And you still fall for it. Yep.
Yeah.
I think the simplest form of comedy happens to a baby when you do this. You go, boo, and the baby laughs. Boo, and the baby laughs. You know, so much of comedy is just that surprise and a little bit of fear. You got to have a little bit of fear in comedy and a little bit of edginess.
Well, years ago, how I got a couple punches in the episode. It was years ago, I got lots of love from the lady next door, that sweet, adorable Chihuahua.
Chihuahua. Okay.
Must have been my car.
All right. Now we've segued.
Yeah, you remember Lady the Chihuahua?
Yes, I do. Yeah. Uh-huh. She was an important part of your life, right?
Oh yeah, the dog next door.
Okay.
Dog.
Time out. Here we go.
Let the dogs out.
Okay, I had to do that for you, Ed. We're talking about dogs right now.
Well, let's not forget to help the most for the audience who doesn't know it. I know I've shared this story with you more times than I can count, but for the benefit of the audience, do you remember the funniest answer to prayer I ever had?
Tell us, Ed, what was the funniest answer?
True story. I was, walking around my neighborhood church in Jacksonville many, many years ago, feeling kind of down. I had my Elijah moment, and I poured my heart out to God. And I'm speaking figuratively. I said, Lord, even my ministry has gone to the dogs. Now I'm speaking figuratively. Right after I said that, 2 dogs ran up from behind me. One on either side.
Oh my goodness, really?
Yeah. I mean that.
Well, who sent the dogs, the devil or God?
I'm pretty sure it was God.
Okay, they were encouragement.
Okay. I mean, they were gentle dogs. I mean, if they were vicious dogs that bit me, I would wonder. But they were gentle dogs, and I think he set them there for the purpose of confirming his humor in me. But and
that's a good point. In other words, he kind of broke your doldrums with humor.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's good. God did that to me once, Ed. In a vision, I once heard, "Are you willing to share your comedy with people of other religious beliefs?" I said, "Yes, I believe in annoying all groups equally." That's the joke.
I'll tell you what is funny. What is seriously funny? You take like the Roman Catholics. Some of the funniest Catholic jokes I heard were told by Catholics.
Yeah. Oh, Catholics got good jokes.
In fact, one of the hardest times I remember laughing as a kid. I went to Catholic school for 5 years, and I had a nun that when I was in 4th grade, she told a story that was, to this day, I think is hilarious.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, some nuns had senses of humor, other ones had wooden rulers.
Well, she was a little bit of both. I mean, she was a force to be reckoned with, but I think she was a native. She grew up in the Northeast, either New York or Massachusetts.
Oh, okay.
All right. She wasn't all, totally hardcore. She could be humorous at times.
Right.
But,
right.
Definitely knew where the boundary was with her. You didn't want to cross her. More play intended.
Well, and I got an idea. How about we take a break and we will show your clip of Doggone Funny with Ed the Med. Is that all right?
Oh, absolutely.
Here we go. Doggone Funny with Ed the Med.
People have been telling me I should get a dog, so I finally did. Okay, settle down, boy. Settle down. You know, it's been said that man's best friend is a dog. I'm a dog lover myself. But really, I have to wonder about one thing, though. Have we become dog-centered? We have doggy daycare centers. Dogs serving dog washes. Dog grooming centers. And there's even custody battles over dogs. I know a man that has to pay dog support and half of the vet expenses, half of the gravy train. He has visitation rights, so he gets to visit the dog every other weekend. There's even doggy dentistry. What do they do if a dog has a cavity? Open up, you're going to get a shot and a drill. If you're a good doggy, you get a treat. There's a law firm called Barker and Barker. Has your dog been injured in an accident? Call Barker and Barker. Their bite is worse than their bark. They have doggy bark decoders. I have to go potty. I'm in love with the dog next door. Not dry dog food again. Today while driving, I saw 4 dog ads. And it doesn't look to me like the recession's hurting the dog business. And if I had money, I'd invest in dog.com. And the funniest answer to prayer I ever had, and this actually happened, by the way. I said, Lord, even my ministry has gone to the dogs. And I looked out and there was 2 dogs, one on either side of me. At least it wasn't cats. Pretty doggone funny, if you ask me. Settle down, settle down. Peace, be still. People have been telling me I should get.
There we go, Ed. There's the doggone funny with Ed the Med. That is hilarious.
Yeah.
I love that rolling dog. It was a holy roller dog, I think.
There you go. It had the second baptism or whatever it had.
I don't know what was rolling it, but hopefully it was holy.
There you go.
Yeah, that was great. I've seen that before, but for some reason I'm seeing it now, and I just think it's wonderful. It's better than I remember it.
As I recall, the group seemed to like that one too.
Yeah, good. Yeah, very good. Yeah. Well, this is what we do. We try to make people laugh. I love your dog impersonations, your dog language. I didn't know you spoke dog.
Mm-hmm. You didn't know I spoke dog?
I didn't know that. Yeah, you could be a dog interpreter.
No, actually, no. Actually, there was one dog in particular that really taught me a lot about doggy language. I think I told you about this dog. I did, but again, the dog named Pokey that lived next door to my grandma. And the story behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And I had one nun for second grade who, as a kid growing up, I was chided for being slow. And I understand it was annoyance with me. What's taking you so long to eat your lunch? You're so pokey. The way that, my stepdad chided me for being slow too. I mean, I figured out what no therapist could. Italian New Yorker meets a person from Key West. It was like irresistible force, that immovable object. What's taking so long? What's taking that? What's the rush? So how does this leak into the dog next door named Pokey? Well, Pokey had kind of a slow, gentle personality too.
Okay.
And we kind of connected. I gave her a love that she wasn't giving from her owners though. The doggy language she'd teach me, if I walked by her, she'd look at me and thump her tail.
Oh, okay.
And if she was sitting down and I walked by and thought it says, don't pass me by, pet me, pay attention to me.
Right. Yes.
Or in fact, what made Pokey unique among most other dogs, and it's one thing that I pull up in my grandma's driveway and she'd come running to meet my car. You'd think I was the owner. But then later I go inside and sit in the living room with my grandma. My grandma looks out the window and says, there's your friend. And she would come looking for me.
Oh.
A couple of times she actually stood by the door, started to go, oh. She's made noise to let me know that she was there.
Oh, Ed.
Oh, yeah.
That's dog therapy.
It was. I mean, I think they called it a dog whisperer, a person who knows.
Okay.
And, well, it was through Pokey that what I learned from Pokey, I also learned true about other dogs. That since that the same thing has happened, I sometimes, if they look at me and they thought their tail when I walk by, means stop, pay attention.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. And that, Ed, is why we're doing this show. We're kind of like Pokey the dog. We want people to stop, pay attention to Ed and I. Notice us. stroke our heads, scratch us behind our ears, listen to this show, laugh a little bit. Right?
So this is the case with what well, even though I felt scarred by what happened in second grade, it was a scar turned into a star.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I've often believed that God was looking out for me even before I got saved because he knew I was going to get saved. And I think he somewhat protected me from things that could have, caused a lot of damage. More so
Right. Yeah, he does that. He does, yeah. He
knows that one day I'm going to turn around, and then even now he knows that one day I'll keep growing and keep learning.
Yeah. I remember a story when we were in Bible college. I think my son was like in first grade or something. And he was always very intelligent, did very well at school. So they put him in the spelling bee, right? First thing he gets up, they give him the word dog, spelled dog. I think this is first grade. The words are very simple. He spelled it G-O-D.
Oh, no.
And he was out. They threw him out because he said God instead of dog. But you know what? I was proud of him because we were going to Bible college at the time. I thought, well, good. That's a good, if you're going to fail, that's a good way to go. Spelling dog God, So that was fun. Well, we got a lot of dog stories for future shows. I thought maybe I'll play a clip of a little bit of comedy that I did. I think it was for an online thing. I have a Harleyville compilation. It was an online comedy show, whatever. So this is just 2.5 minutes. So let's play this, okay, Ed?
Sure.
Okay, we have everybody on this side of the room. That means it's going to start leaning. Must be like a left brain, right brain, I'm usually in the back where the no brains are. Okay, first joke, come on. Bam, okay. Yeah, really. Okay, that's my time. Let's bring up the musicians. My name is John Peters. I'm married to my wonderful wife, Mary Lou. I call her Mary Lou out of the blue because she makes comments with no context at all. How many husbands have a wife or a wife that has no context? Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your honesty. Your wife will deal with you on the way home. I remember we were in Applebee's in Ephrata. This was November. Everybody say November. It was in November. And it's a free dinner because we're veterans. They do a free Veterans Day dinner. It's wonderful. We got there in the afternoon. It wasn't too crowded. She's eating her steak. I'm eating my chicken penne, not saying a word. Out of the blue, she looks up at me and says, when I get home, I'm going to try on my swimsuit. No context. This is November, right? First thing I think in my mind is, why ruin a good night? But I didn't say that. I didn't say, because I'm a happily married man and I know better. So she's now looking at me. I just perfectly still, my eyes wide open. Man, there's nothing you can say that's right. So I just stood still. It was like a minute, 2 minutes. Finally, her eyes went down. She started eating her steak. She said, you blinked. She beats me. My wife beats me every time. I'm actually a retired pastor, and I've got a lot of love for people. I'm very loving, but I have a bad habit of finishing my conversations with love you. Not a good idea. Sometimes it's okay. If you got a friend, you say love you, right? But I got stopped by a police for speeding. He gives me a ticket. I say, thanks, officer, love you. Don't do that. Did not work out well. I'm in the men's room. I'm out of toilet paper. The guy next door slides me a roll. I say, thanks, buddy. Love you. Do not do that. That is totally inappropriate. So
Did that really happen, though? Did you really get a ticket and tell the officer?
No, it's just I'm making that up. Yeah. But what I like that last clip about
the potty humor.
Yeah. is the big laugh was from my pastor. And Pastor Jim, that made me so happy because he really enjoyed that one. I had fun. So, okay. Well, Ed, I think we're winding down here. Any closing comments? Share with the world.
No, I'm just hopefully I'll tune in next week, same time. Hopefully, same for so still more opportunities to howl.
There we go. Thank you, Ed. Okay, well, we're going to wind up the show, and thanks for joining us on Facebook Live. Like Ed said, next week, Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard, we're going to do this again, and we may have a guest speaker or a guest that we can interview. We'll see how that goes. But meantime, keep laughing, be filled with the joy of the Lord, which is your strength.
Okay.
We love you, bless you.
All
See you
right.
next time, Ed. Bye-bye.
Let the dogs out. Let the dogs out.